You know, a lot of people believe that AIs will take over the world, which in my opinion, I don't think they will. But if they do, it would be like iRobot and I'd be Will Smith. I think AI is extremely useful, especially ChatGPT. Recently, I worked with ChatGPT to create a full Python application that can communicate with the LED lights in my room through Bluetooth and make its color follow my wallpaper. So I'll be showing you guys that today, but I'll also be making another application with ChatGPT and seeing how useful ChatGPT can be. Now, recently I started working on an application that can literally communicate with my room's LED lights through Bluetooth, which is not normal because normally I'm only able to communicate with it via a proprietary app. So I had to do some pretty interesting things to control it without the app. Now, my app started out as just a light controller, which was already cool to me, but then I expanded on it more. Now it fades between the colors, can turn the lights on or off from my PC, and even follow my wallpaper. So let me show you guys how this looks and what it took to set this up. Okay, here we have my finished folder for the light controller. And as you can see, of course, we have the JSON file, which is basically a save file that contains pretty much everything that I've already configured from the last time I opened the application. And then of course we have the Py file, and then we have the Python shortcut, which actually allows me to open the application as if it's a .exe file. So of course I don't have to use some command prompt. Now, as you can see, instead of it saying .py, it says .pyw, which is basically just a file type that, as you can see, does not open up the console, which is kind of annoying because imagine having something like this open in the background and you always see the command prompt either in the background or minimized to my taskbar. So yeah, that's something I did not want, but luckily there was a way to do that by simply using python w.exe. So yeah, but now I can go ahead and open this and you can see it opens up in my system tray, and here we go. So of course I have two of them. That's because it was already open, but I go ahead and open it and you can see that you have the open dim slider, color picker, turn on, turn off, and quit. Now currently I am not connected because the lights already have turned themselves off because I have a timer set to them to turn off at a certain amount of time, which as you can see is 1:32 a.m. But basically if I was to click turn off, it would turn off, of course, and then clicking turn on would turn them on. Oh wait, actually you guys can't see it, but it actually did it, surprisingly. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn them right back off. But yeah, so now that you guys have seen that, so let me show you guys the cool part. Open dim slider, color picker, and you can see that I have a lot of cool things here. So we have the brightness, and I can set this from 0 to 100%, and we also have these buttons here which allows me to fade them. So instead of it snapping to the brightness I want, I can have it fade there. So for instance, I'm at 100%, I can have it fade to 50%. Or if I want to go back up to 100%, I can do that. Or if I wanted to go all the way down to 25%, I can also do that. So that is, in my opinion, really cool. And then we have the really cool part of this, which is the ability to follow my wallpaper. Now, as some of you guys might know, I use Wallpaper Engine, which technically isn't the same as a static wallpaper. But if you look in the Wallpaper Engine settings, it actually has a setting named Wallpaper Engine Wallpaper Override, which basically all this does is it overrides the static Windows wallpaper with a static screenshot of whatever wallpaper engine video or scene that you're using. So for instance, if I tab out of this, you can see that this is my current Wallpaper Engine wallpaper. And what this application is seeing is just a screenshot of this. So what Follow Wallpaper does is it basically finds the most dominant color. Now, I'm not going to try to act like this is completely perfect because it's definitely not. I'm just getting very lucky, and I mostly use a wallpaper like this where there are just two colors. So you can see blue around over here, and then they have the purple. Now, of course, if I was to change to a different wallpaper that has more diverse colors, it would definitely give some issues. But the code that I managed to find the most dominant color is actually pretty decent. And then of course we have the ability to change the static color if I don't want it to follow the wallpaper. So for instance, I can just turn this off and then it will go to whatever the default color is. I think it's at white currently, and then I can just go to pick color, and then I can set this to blue if I want and click OK. It will set it to blue, or I can really set it to pretty much any custom color. But yeah, this is honestly really cool. Okay, I want to jump in quickly because I want to show you guys how ChatGPT can even find my LED lights, which are normally hidden. So first, all I did was I moved to that directory, and then now let me just do Python p.py. Yeah, it's literally just named p.py because I didn't really want to put in the effort to change it to a a more reasonable name, but that doesn't matter. I go ahead and enter, and then you can see it says scanning for nearby BLE devices. Now I'm not sure if it will show because I currently have my light controller open, which will basically take it away. Yeah, but you can see that doing this, it shows pretty much every device that is near me. So you can see there's a printer here, it has my Quest 3S, and then a none. Now if I was to go over here and close both of these
2 seconds later
and then retry this, so let me just copy this real quick, you should see that it should hopefully show it this time. Well, yep, there we go. So you can see that there are a lot more that are showing. Before it showed 3, now it's showing what, 6 addresses, but the one that matters the most is the AP one. This one is AP3215 blah 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 blah. But what really matters is that this is actually the LED lights. It's named this, and you can't find it through any other app but the Apollo lighting app. Now what we need though is the address. All I did was copy this address and just simply go to ChatGPT and tell it that this is the correct address and this is the address I need to send all forms of any codes that I need to send to the LED lights to, turn it off or change the colors. So yeah, this is basically how it was done. And this is honestly insane that not only do they hide it, but I also need to find the address, the Bluetooth address, and then send it in this type of data. It's just, it was a hassle, but I ended up getting it done. So yeah, that is the light controller that I in ChatGPT has created. Well, mostly ChatGPT. I was more on data fetching and troubleshooting duty. ChatGPT did pretty much all of the code, but regardless, this is amazing. If you guys want this code and want to maybe even expand on this, get this video to 50 likes and I will put this Python file in the comments. Now, let's see what else ChatGPT can create. Okay, now it's time for me to ask ChatGPT to make an application that I can actually show you guys. And off the top of my mind, maybe we can make something like, I don't know, a smart file organizer. So for instance, I can give it a certain folder and just tell it to organize any files that enter that specific folder. So let's go ahead and ask it.
5 minutes later.
Okay, now the prompt is make a Python program that organizes a folder in users, RATPR, downloads folder for ChatGPT. It should organize everything in the folder based on file type. Now, if we look at the folder in question, you should see that it is this. So of course, I have Fortnite, I have a virus, text file 2, text file 1, a video, and my very, very, very important project, which is in the PDF file format. Now, it'll be very, very bad if ChatGPT simply just deletes it. So I'm praying that this works and ChatGPT will show its true potential and actually organize all of my files. So let's just try it. Okay, so now it is officially done and it seems like it might actually work. Of course, it's trying to tell me how to do this and I'm not naming it that because that will be a lot to type. So all I did was just name it j.py. Yeah, very, very creative by me, I know. Okay, so we are here and now I'm going to go Python j.py and I'm going to go ahead and tab into our folder and let's just see what happens. So let's just hope that this works first try. Okay, it worked instantly. Of course, File Explorer just doesn't update automatically, so it did take like maybe 2 seconds to update, but it actually worked. So if I go here, you can see that it moved my Fortnite.exe into a folder named installers. And then it also moved my videos here, documents here, so it knows that the txt file in my very important project needs to go here. And then of course it has my code. I guess it sees a bat file as code, which I guess makes sense, and it moved it here. So that is actually really good. I honestly don't know. I guess that proves that ChatGPT can pretty much create any application as long as you know exactly how to run it and how to get the code pretty much working. Of course, I got lucky and I asked it to make some very simple code, so it worked first try, but I'll just go ahead and say it. When I tried making that light controller, it definitely wasn't easy, which explains why it took almost 2 days to get working. So yeah, and yeah, that's it. What else should I do with ChatGPT next? I honestly want to test ChatGPT to see how much it can do. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.